You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well,
shoegazy.
This is a new way of filming videos, isn't it?
Well, yes, we are. We're using the upstairs-downstairs technique, which viewers of classic British 70s television will know. The the aristocracy sit upstairs, à la moi, and the working class servants, the plebs, basically. Yes, they sit downstairs, à la Pete. Yes. We just felt it was an appropriate way to social distance at these difficult times.
Yeah.
So we set the cameras up. Pete did all that.
One camera here.
Because that's what the servants do, whilst I sat in the smoking room.
The smoking lounge with your cravat.
Yes, and that's it. So we just got one camera each, so it's really, really simple setup. I can see Pete on a TV screen here, so when I look this way, hey Pete.
Hey man.
I'm looking at him.
And I can see you on a screen down here, so when I look that way, I can see you over there. And when I look there, I can see you guys.
Yes, and we've got a slightly different setup to normal in terms of audio. So normal pedal board into normal amp, but no speakers. So everything is, I'm using an aux, using a tube amp expander.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
So that's straight into the mixer, and then we've got everything on headphones so that we can hear each other with no latency. So we're not hearing each other across an internet connection. No. We're just hearing each other along very long cables.
Very long cables, and I'm then looking over an iMac over behind the camera there. So if you do see me look behind the camera, I am looking at the iMac so I can see whether it is working or not, just in case.
Well, about a month ago, we did a video before all of this lockdown malarkey, talking about the history of the Jazzmaster.
Yay!
Here is a Squier version of it, but essentially, you know, the first of the kind of the offset, I don't know, deluxe guitars, I suppose, that Leo at the time was going for. Came out in '58, I think, the Jazzmaster, and if you want to hear more about that, go find that video.
Then might be a link below.
Some people say 1960, some say 62. I think prototypes in 60 and maybe in full production by 62 came the Jaguar, which actually I'm holding up like a modded up version of it. So perhaps look at Pete's guitar.
Yeah, this one is then the kind of, I think this is the closest to the original as it was, because this is the American original series, so all made in America. Binding on there. It's even got this little rubber pad that they used to come with then they took off at some point, didn't they? Because everybody was going, what is that for? Because it doesn't really do anything, but just, I'll demonstrate that in a minute.
For me, the big difference between the Jaguar and the Jazzmaster, and arguably between the Jaguar and most of the rest of the Fender range, is it's a short scale guitar. So now, here we go. Here's my Fender knowledge being put to the test. Was this before or after the Mustang, or around about the same time? Hey, might have to check on Wikipedia for that one. But as far as I know, things like Strat, Tele, Jazzmaster are all a 25.5-inch scale length.
Yeah.
Jaguar is 24-inch, so that's even shorter than a Les Paul. Can't remember, I think a Mustang is 24-inch and things like Duosonic as well. But they may
maybe the lead as well. Was the lead?
24? No, that's 25, I think.
Oh, yeah. But
anyway, 2 single coil pickups, which you can see on Pete's guitar.
Like this one here.
I always wonder what those funny metal teeth were either side of the pickup, which perhaps Pete can show you on close-up. But again, according to Wikipedia, it is to help with radio frequency interference, which I don't really know you get a great deal on guitars nowadays, but maybe back then you did.
Well, you know, if you have a single coil, I remember having, you know, going on playing gigs on tour and stuff, and you would play, and there's loads of lights on there, and you know what I mean. You get the hum. Maybe it's kind of the first version of a kind of hum cancelling, trying to get some hum cancelling out of. I don't know. Perhaps you know. It looks cool. It looks really cool.
The switching is a kind of got some bits from the Jazzmaster, so you've got your rhythm and lead circuit up here. Rhythm circuit is the upwards position, so it's just the neck pickup, and you've just got a volume and a tone here, which Pete can demo, I'm sure, in a minute.
Not on your one, because your one is different.
Mine's different. Then you've got on-off switches for the pickups. So the first 2 are on and off, and the third one, I think, is a phase switch.
It's a high pass.
Oh, is it?
It's a high pass. They call it the strangling switch, apparently.
Well, let's demo. And then you've got a volume and tone down here.
Like normal.
So let's go through some tones on an original Jaguar.
Let me just turn all of the effects off. And here's a G chord. I'm now in the rhythm circuit, so upwards on this one. So you got your volume there. And your tone there. I mean, it's not. It's got that jazzy Jazzmaster kind of tone there. And then if you go down, you got your volume here. You got your tone there. And then down here, if you put them all downwards, that's an on-off switch for this pickup. That's an on-off switch for the bridge pickup. And you can hear how that take the, it's like, you can hear that takes the highs off. She's fat there. I prefer downwards position. Like my favorite yoga position, downward dog. But so, and then if we quickly move on to this little switch here, I just really quickly.
Oh. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't old Gretsch guitars have that or something? And the problem, I think, with the foam was that it just used to degrade so fast with sweat and stuff like that. But
yeah, it would go.
What's that style of music? You know.
But it's like, you know, I would probably never use that if it was me. I would just leave it.
I would use it all the time.
I could use the back of my hand there instead. I could use that. What is that called? Heel of the hand? Is that the heel of the hand?
Oh, I don't think you could. Is that, what's that called? The fleshy bit of the palm.
Is that not the heel of the hand? But what does it sound like with some overdrive, you say? Back into that circuit with the Dane. Oh, it's nice and bright, isn't it? And then this third switch. It's cool, man. It's got a vibe, hasn't it?
It's a very elegant looking guitar. I think all the chrome mixed in with the plastic scratch plate just looks fantastic.
It's a great colour, this as well, isn't it?
Can I show you something else a bit weird? Pete might be able to demonstrate this. That the concept on the original Jazzmaster and Jaguar of the bridge with the tremolo system was the bridge very gently rocks back and forward as you adjust the tremolo system. And Leo Fender's idea was that that should keep the intonation of the guitar correct, even as you use the tremolo. So effectively, a chord which would normally go out of tune as you use the tremolo system on, say, a Fender Stratocaster, should stay in tune as a chord rather than an individual note. Whether it works or not, we're about to find out.
It does.
No, but I don't mean it goes back to its tuning. I mean the E chord itself should stay. So if you bent down a semitone,
you want to go?
It should go from an E to an F sharp. Sorry, an E to an E flat, kind of.
Yeah.
And still stay in tune.
Okay, so see if I can get it. Do you want me to get it clean down? So do an E and then bend it down and then have a whole E flat. Is that the idea?
That's the idea. Okay, whether it works or not, I don't know.
But I do think it's quite clever because it's got a little switch here, which is the same on the Jazzmaster. The Jazzmaster, so when you push that down, it locks the...
You can't go backwards, can
you? You can't go backwards, which means that, if you've got a floating trem on a Strat, for instance, and you break the string, especially one of the heavier strings, if that breaks, the whole thing just goes like that, and then it goes out of tune. Where with this, it'll literally snap to here, and the point is with that is that it can't, all the other strings should still stay in tune, right?
I'm still kind of amazed that Leo just went for that push-in tremolo design, because some of the modern ones, they've changed it so it's got a screw thread on it, but the original ones were just a, because you can hear how clanky it is, like, when you...
Yeah.
There. It's weird, isn't it? I mean,
and they kept it, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's moved on from that to... Have you got the...
So I've
got the Pro here. That's the screw in.
Yeah. So look, okay. So that's the basic Jaguar.
Yeah.
That Pete's playing. I don't know that there's much else to really tell you. You've got a choice of colours, which hopefully in edit we can put on screen now.
Yeah.
Will come with a lovely hard case.
It does, and a little cover for this, a little silver cover that goes over there, which looks really neat.
So here we have the Jazzmaster, normal standard tuning in E.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure, I'm going to leave my tuner switched on at the moment because I think you can kind of hear, it'll be interesting to hear acoustically how very different it is just sonically without the pickup. So it feels very, the feel of it's very stratty. You can hear that those, I think they're called sympathetic frequencies, but those sort of resonant frequencies that come from down within the tremolo system. It's something to do with the length of string between the bridge and where it goes into the actual sort of tailpiece of the trem system.
Springs.
So you're getting, you can, well, how can you, you get that. And we talked about that quite a lot in the Jazzmaster video. It's part of the sound. So let's just whab this one.
That one. Louder. Seems louder.
It is louder. I mean, different. Still got that
ring.
Sympathetic rings. And again, as soon as you start bending notes, that's where you feel the big difference in the scale length.
Do you prefer this one or the other one? For the scale length? Do you prefer the shorter scale length?
I mean, I think I'm going to come to my conclusion probably at the end, but my gut feeling, if I had to have either a Jaguar or a Jazzmaster, I do think the Jaguar appeals because it's more different to a Strat or a Tele, but...
You could have both.
It's almost got like can you hear that acoustic distortion?
Absolutely,
it's really weird.
That's interesting.
I said weird's maybe not the right word, but yeah, interesting.
Interesting.
So it doesn't. When you put the two guitars right next to each other, you'll see. Maybe I can just do this if I just put them on the floor here. Can you see? If I put one in right behind the other, you can just see the Jazzmaster's longer than the Jaguar,
and it's got a bigger head.
Oh,
the Jazzmaster, the Jaguar's got a bigger head.
So, but it doesn't. I don't think I consciously feel like, you know, sometimes with some guitars, I'm feeling like almost like an SG or a Firebird or something. You kind of feel like your hand is further away from you to play some of the chords down the bottom. This doesn't really feel like my hand's nearer me. I suppose it should do because it is a little bit, but it doesn't feel terribly different. It's got all the necks on the Jaguars are very sort of traditional Fender C-shaped carbs.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was interesting.
Yeah,
I think.
very interesting.
It's quite, but that we've talked about your American original there, Pete.
Yeah.
That's a nitro finish guitar, isn't it? So the lacquer on the back of the neck as well.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, it's just a lovely, lovely made guitar. We went to see the factory where they make these, and everything is just spot on, you know.
Yeah. Surf
lovely
green,
case,
classic 60s coloor.
Yeah. Classic design made new. That's what it says here.
I mean, again, we talked a bit about in the Jazzmaster video. These guitars weren't popular when they first came out. Certainly nothing like as popular as Leo Fender had hoped they would be. So they never really took off in a big way. They were discontinued in 1975, so they only ran in the Fender catalogue for just over 10 years.
Yeah.
And then in the 80s, they started coming back with some Japanese-made ones. Yep. Definitely some of the more indie kind of rock guitar players started playing them. And then from 1999, they've been back in the sort of Fender America catalogue and been around ever since.
Yeah.
So should we move on to what is now the American Professional, Mr. Pete?
We shall.
Right.
There we are, back in the room now with the American Professional Series Jag.
So this is the other American one.
Yeah.
There's not a big price difference between American Professional and American Original, where the Professional will be slightly cheaper.
It's about 1,500 quid, I believe.
Yeah, I thought they were a smidgen under that, but you might, okay, ballpark like that. About right.
Yeah.
So go on then, Mr. Pete, take us through the differences between the American Original and American Professional.
As you can see up here, that's changed. As you can see down here, that's also changed. Now you've got a 4-way blade switch here, instead of the little on-off switches for each pickup. Still got your volume and tone. And you've got a switch up here with a phase switch, and that is only engaged when, I'll go through it. So position 1, which is this way. Some people do position 1 there, but it is actually that way. So clean tone. On the back pickup.
Oh, that's a fatter sounding guitar than the other one, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems...
Are they different pickups on that
They're V-mod pickups in there.
Okay.
So they are, what was his name that designed them?
Frank something.
Somewhere. Yeah, so they're redesigned for this.
So that's all the American Professional have V-mod, I think. And, and it's where each pole piece, I think, is the strength of each pole piece is different to get a balanced kind of tone across all 6 strings.
Yeah, and also if you notice the bridge here, that's the Mustang bridge with some brass saddles on here. So that I've got a feeling that actually also does something to the rest of the sound and the way the sound carries through. So instead of having all of those little things, it just have one little
big
groove
that
the string lies in, which means that they won't come out, as we talked about in the Jazzmaster video. So anyway, so when I'm there, that's the bridge. Go to position 2, you get both pickups in parallel. And if I hit this switch, it phases, it does a phase thing, right? Which is great with was a gunshot. That might be a little bit too loud.
That sounds great.
It does sound great. I'm sort of turning down a bit because I think it might be peaking a bit over there. That's the difference when we are only us in the room and I'm trying to do everything at once. So, and if you go to position 3, as it were, then it's still both of these.
I thought you said position 3 was the neck pickup and then 4 was both of them.
Oh yes, sorry. I do apologise. Position 3 is the neck position. It's kind of stratty, isn't it?
It's a great sound though. I love it. There's something about that looser tension in the string that's making it bassier, I think.
Yeah, there's a nice bass to the... Yeah, and then if I just hit that, it doesn't do anything on the single pickups. And then if I go to position 4, then it's both of them in series.
Oh. So that's like a humbuckery kind of fatness, isn't it?
Yeah. Hit the switch. That's
super quacky.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean it's cool. It's
what else
cool
they done?
guitar.
So the trem arm now screws in.
Yeah, so the trem arm is now screwed in.
So does that get rid of that clanky?
It does, yeah. It doesn't do, if you, let me just, because that's the problem with this, if you got one of these.
You need a right
kind of
angle jack at that end,
exactly.
Man.
So if
I was prepared, you see, look, I got the right angle jack.
That's because you're professional. There's you upstairs, aren't you? That's why.
It's where all the good stuff is upstairs, basically.
It is. So now.
A little bit still, isn't it? It's a weird design, that trem system.
I think that's not the arm doesn't do it. It's just a little bit of the metal in here, you know. Still got that little locks. You can hear when it hits it on the inside, right?
I think that would be one of the questions I would ask Leo Fender if he was still alive now, or if I would just go, what were you doing with like the Jazzmaster trem system? Were you ever really happy with it, Leo?
Yeah.
I wonder. Because it wasn't one of the... I don't believe that he really carried on with that design into the sort of GNL thing.
But did you see the one, do you remember when we went to see the GNL factory and they were showing us this trem system that was kind of going into the, around the back?
That wasn't a trem though, that was a hardtail. It was a
wasn't that for the Espada?
Yeah, yeah,
but it has a super duper difficult sort of thing that went in and out and shake it all about and on the back here. And
super duper in and out and shake it all about.
Yeah, satin neck on this as well. Not locking tuners, and I don't know why they put these on because I do prefer. It's got staggered heads here, which means 2 of them are higher, so the string sits in a different way. Satin neck. I said that's. Nice.
That is a great looking guitar.
Yeah, it comes with one of those black hard cases. It's great. There's not, you know, I prefer this Mustang bridge on here, I must admit. It says on the website it's brass, but it doesn't look like brass.
Well, they can be chrome-plated brass.
Chrome-plated brass. We don't get that down here, Lee, you see. We just, normally we just get...
I can't see it very well. I can only see it on a little television screen. Yeah, but now I've got the broken screen, haven't I? There we go.
Yeah, no, it just looks silver like everything else.
Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I mean,
different. Let's put the colours for what that's available in on the screen now.
Different colours. And then they're also doing with the maple neck and stuff.
It's not a bound neck like the American original.
I must admit, I would go original.
Would you?
Yeah, and then I would get this the bridge from here. I'll just buy a Mustang bridge and put that on. I prefer.
Yeah, we forget to say, don't you? You can retrofit a Mustang bridge onto a traditional Jazzmaster or Jaguar, no problem. And it's super cheap. You can get the proper bridge for like 40 quid, something like that. So it's easy to do. I don't know. Cool. I mean, it's a wicked looking. I do prefer the look of the Jaguar over the Jazzmaster. Yeah,
there's more chrome, isn't it? Yeah. I like cars with chrome on them as well.
Chrome.
You know, I dreamt that I owned a Mercedes S-Class.
Did you?
Yeah.
What's my favourite one? The little, is it S500? The very low to the ground soft top that you see people in, like you think of Audrey Hepburn or whatever going in around Monaco.
On
SL 500.
No, SL2. What, a new one or
like an old
SL280
one from the 50s.
Yeah, SL280, I think it is called.
Anyway.
With 2 seats and a hardtop and yes. Anyway, let's move on to something a little bit more affordable.
Okay, so I've got 2 of these guitars now from Mexico. And...
Oh, same colour.
Now, this is Vintera. As fans of the Vintera range will know, whether it's Strats, Tellys, or Jaguars or Jazzmasters, they do modified versions and they do original versions. So I didn't bother getting the original version of the Vintera because it's essentially a Mexican copy of the American original.
This one.
Pretty much all the same kind of, doesn't have the string mute, but a lot of the features and the switching will be the same. So I got the modified one, which is kind of cool, and definitely you get that vibe when Pete played a little bit of a Nirvana riff, and I suppose when you think about like Kurt Cobain and other similar players to him, you know, that modded up Jaguars and Mustangs and stuff. This one now has 2 humbuckers in it, as you can see, and all the switching is a little different. What else is different? The scale length stays the same on every Jaguar model, so they've all got that 24-inch scale length. I've got a satin finish neck, I've got a Pal Ferro fretboard, I've got the weird floating trem system. I've now got a fixed bridge, so the bridge on here, again, hopefully you can see this, the bridge is now like the bridge you'd get on a Les Paul. So it doesn't rock backwards and forwards, but it does mean that, you know, I've got a little bit more, perhaps, control over the intonation, and it might be a bit more stable in terms of its overall tuning. Okay, so let's quickly explain the switching on the modified Vintera, which I think is very, very cool. So first and foremost, the switch up here is no longer the rhythm and lead switch. It is a kill switch, because everybody wants a kill switch. So, don't do like Pete and I did when we first took this out and get a second one because we thought the first one was faulty, only to be told by our guitar tech that it's a kill switch. So, need to have this switch in the upward position to get it to work. It's a good job the switch is kind of out the way, otherwise I worry you might turn it on and off. Down here we have the same switches that are on most Jaguars, so everything off. Neck pickup, bridge pickup, and then, actually, do you know what? I didn't look up what this third switch did. Let's see if it does a... Yeah, it sounds the same as that high-pass filter. Sounds the same as what the switch on the original one did.
It's like a...
So these controls up here are kind of cool. They're slidey ways of coil tapping a pickup. So if I just take my neck humbucker...
You need more reverb.
Have I got too much reverb on?
No, you need more.
No, I'll turn it down just for you. I love reverb. Okay. It's not really turned down, is it? Hang on, let's turn it down a bit more. There we go, right. So, full humbucker. Single coil, or tapped anyway. I kind of like that.
Yeah, you can blend it.
Then the same basically on the bridge. So. And this is just traditional volume and tone down here. So let's get some basic. Is it?
Yeah, it is again.
Is it?
Clunk,
Is
clunk.
it? Oh no, screw in tremolo
screw
system.
in on those,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm happy. I don't like this tremolo system really. Would it annoy me? I don't think it would annoy me enough to stop me buying one, but I think it would annoy me enough to stop it being my #1 guitar. But then, you know, Johnny Marr, he's like, what do I know?
Exactly. And you can buy this. There's Mastery, for instance, do an upgrade.
Do they?
Trim Mastery, yeah.
What for a Jaguar?
Yeah, which is the one that everybody raves about.
So now I'm going bridge pickup with some distortion from a Greer Lightspeed. I don't really know any good sort of like Johnny Marr-y kind of things. I just feel bad because all I want to do is turn all my ambient effects pedals on just because that's, I'll just do some sort of blaggers version of a shoegazer-y kind of sound.
Do it. You've got loads of...
I've got loads of pedals. I'm going to turn them all on and see what happens. There we are. So that is, he says, trying to turn them all off now. That's the Vintera modified. Maybe what we should do on the screen first of all, let's have a look at all of the non-modified versions of the Vintera so you can see all those in the different colours. Leave those on screen for a second. And then let's put the modified versions of the Vintera on. So these are all about half the price of the American ones and come with a nice gig bag. And then, before we go on to the Squier one, we've got one more, which is the Player series.
Hey, Player. Okay.
Right,
yeah.
Player.
Player.
I guess perhaps more inspired by the American Professional than the original. So we've lost some of the switching and we've simplified the pickup switching now. So three-way overall pickup selector, a coil split pickup at the top here for the humbucker, and then just a volume and a tone. So let's take you through the pickup settings. Let's start with the single coil neck pickup. I can really hear those sympathetic resonant strings.
It's like an overdrive.
Yeah,
it's like an overdrive
coming through. I've got no pedals on here. Seems to be more on this model than any of the other ones. Both pickups together. So with the split humbucker, and now with the humbucker on. And here's full fat humbucker. It's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot.
And the split humbucker. With a bit of distortion from a Lightspeed. Again, we've got the same basic neck that you would get on a Player Series guitar, so that sort of satin feel back and a Pal Ferro fretboard.
Older bodies?
I think so.
Yeah, I think all of these are. I'm not sure Kurt would have that much reverb on there, Liam.
You don't think so? I think it'd have more. So these also come with a gig bag, a little bit like the Vintera. These will be the most affordable until we go down to Squier. Is there anything else you want me to show you in terms of tones on this? I don't really know what to.
No, it's a good combination, isn't it?
We've got the Mustang bridge on here again, yep. So there will be a little bit of, is there a bit of rocking? Yeah, this one just moves a teeny weeny bit as you adjust the trem system on here.
Rocking all over the world.
For some bizarre reason, again, we've now gone into a push-in tremolo arm rather than a screw-in one. I mean, it's. I said I don't really know that I could use this trem system in anger.
You could. So you just get used to it, and you know, it's like one of those things where you just get used to it.
Well, let's take a look at the player. Let's take a look at the colours in the player series on screen now. Player, 24-carat player. And let's move on, and we'll jam out at the end, but let's with our favourite ones. But let's move on to what is visually absolutely my favourite one of them all.
And I tell you what, not just that, but also it has got the, you know, this is what, 349? Yeah. It's got the Mustang bridge on it. It looks amazing. It looks great. It's I think this is definitely a more affordable version. So everything on here is definitely more affordable. But it's got the inlays. Look,
block inlays look wicked.
With a binding, with a correct tinted neck on it. So it just, I mean, it's probably the best looking one of the lot, I have to say.
It's, for me, it would be, I mean, I know you can get that in different colours, and I'm sure they'll appear on screen at some point. Yeah. But Sonic Blue with a tortoiseshell scratch plate is wicked. I mean, in fairness, that's the Jazzmaster version of it.
Yes, but there's a pink one, Lee, that's coming.
Oh, there's not, is there?
There's a pink one.
With a tortoiseshell guard?
Yeah. Oh. I think that's the one. So, you know,
pink or blue, you get one each.
I'll take
one for your son, one for your daughter. Don't worry about which one gets the pink one and which one gets the blue one.
I would take the pink one. I'm telling you right now. Anyway, so 349. Oh. Same configuration as the American one. It does not have the little plate that goes underneath, but it sounds a bit like this. That's great, isn't it?
Can we just do a quick testy here? Can you just put it on the lead circuit so that you're not... Put it on the neck pickup. And I know we've got different... guitar amps, but they're both pretty clean. Turn all the pedals off. Well, it's okay. So play an E chord, E major chord. But I want to just... Because the Jaguar and the Jazzmaster, they're both single coil pickups, but the single coil pickups on the Jazzmaster are... less tall, shorter, I suppose.
Flatter.
Flatter, that was the word I was looking for. So let's just see how very different, if at all, they sound. Now, you've got two different players here, so it won't be quite the same, but I think we're using the same plectrum, though, so that's important. Right, give us an E chord, Pete.
Dane?
What settings is your Dane on?
My settings is everything like 11.
11. No, I'm going, what, including tone?
Tone is straight up.
Straight up. Okay, so everything 11. I think there's a definite more pronounced scooped mid-range. Like you sound like you've got a bit more bass, but a bit less mid-range.
Yeah. Have to remember these two guitars are 349 each.
Yes. Go to the bridge pickup.
Yeah, let's see if I can make that work. Oh, and we are actually both are plugged into a V4. I'm in a V40, you're in a V40.
Oh, yeah. I'm a V140. So they won't be that different.
I got everything on 12. Okay, hang on.
Bridge. Bridge with no distortion.
Okay, coming up. Go. Interesting.
You just sound louder, I think.
And then
we might have to balance that out.
And then I've just put this little filter switch down. I'll keep it up.
I don't have one of those, so...
No, exactly. Are you on the neck now?
No, I was just fiddling around. Put the Dane back on.
And then on the neck?
On the bridge.
On the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay. I prefer this.
Yeah, I do too, but again, we've got different amps, so it's...
You're set at 12, I'm set at 12.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just not quite as loud as you, but maybe during edit they can level up.
I think I am a bit louder than you, but that's because I'm downstairs.
Yeah, I like the Jaguar. I do like the Jaguar.
Yeah.
I don't...
It needs a bit, I must admit, I would put 10 gauge strings on here for me. You know, I might give it a bit of a...
That is a good shout.
Tweak.
Because, of course, the shorter the scale, the easier the strings are to bend. So you can absolutely put some slightly heavier strings on there to get it to feel more like... You could probably put 11s on there to get it to feel like a set of 9s or 10s on a Strat.
It's good. It's good. I mean, for 349 quid, man.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You can buy 2 of these for the... you can buy almost 4 of these for the price of a...
Why would you want 4, though? Why not just have one good one?
Well, that's the question. Would you rather have a Jaguar, a Jazzmaster, you know, and it's classic
I think for me,
telly and a Strat?
Given that I think the Jazzmaster would be something that I'd only pull out the collection every so often, I probably would just go classic vibe. Or maybe one of the Mexican... You know, if it was going to be my #1 guitar, you know, if I was a massive Johnny Marr or, you know, fan or another famous Jaguar player, then fair enough, yeah, go spend more, go American. But man,
but what I'm saying is, if you're not, you know, if you want just to have a Strat and a Telly and a Jazzmaster and a Jaguar, why not buy them all as a classic vibe?
Oh,
sorry,
I see.
as a classic vibe.
That's a clever
so
idea.
So you know, then the 349 each, 350 each. You know, what are you talking? 1,400 quid. Then you got 4 guitars.
Amazing.
And if you give them a bit of a setup and, you know, you play them, put some new strings on there and just make them, you know, hey, you're talking 1,500 quid or something with the set strings, and then you've got 4, one of each of their guitars, man.
Well, there ends, I think, our little trip down Jaguar Lane.
Yeah.
And hope you found that informative. As I said, if you like this and you haven't seen the Jazzmaster version of this video, maybe go watch that too.
And we are in the same room at that time.
We are. So let's jam out, Pete. What did you jam on in the first?
I did the American original.
So why don't you do the Squier for this one, and I'll go player on this.
Go on, player.
I can't remember if we showed you all the pictures on screen of the classic vibe. If we did,
yeah, we got
apologies.
some limited. We got some limited.
If we didn't, then they're coming on screen now, or maybe they were there before.
Yeah, whatever. It's all possible.
What should we do then? Do you want to do something? Let's go super ambient. I mean, that's what it's all about, man.
Let's say goodbye first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hope you're all safe out there. Peace out.